YouTube. Welcome back. Another week.
Yay. Yay.
Okay, let me get my screen set up so that I have multiple things going.
Okay, let me know when your app is up.
Okay. All right, I'm ready to record the audio.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, hit record. Okay. Then 1, 2, 3. Hello! Welcome to another episode of Tea with Claudia and B. That's B.
And that's Claudia.
And today we are on to a new month. Happy April.
How do we make it to April so quickly?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's crazy and exciting.
No.
We're talking about my favorite Jane Austen novel, Northanger Abbey.
Oh boy, the Abbey.
Yay! And we watched the 87 film. Wasn't it 87? Am I
It was.
correct?
Yep.
Okay,
It was released
great.
in 87.
1987 Northanger Abbey film, which neither of us had seen. So that was like super fun to watch. And we're going to talk about it today. Super excited. But first, we got to start, of course, with our weekly obsessions. So B, what was your weekly obsession this week?
I am heavily involved with spring cleaning. I just love spring cleaning. It is the best. I love it. I love the feeling. You open the windows and you're like, oh, fresh air.
Well, especially for you guys in Washington, because it's like was so cold, and so now it's finally starting to get better. Yeah,
it's a nice change. It's really great. And then of course today we were talking before we started recording that there's a crazy windstorm coming through right now, so there might be a little interference with. It sounds like I'm in Wuthering Heights right now, to be honest. Right before we started the call, I was like, oh my gosh,
oh my gosh,
crazy.
yeah, because so my brother, who lives in Spokane, in the same town that B does, we actually were talking just before we started recording, and he was like, you guys might have a bad connection tonight because of the windstorm happening here. So, but so far so good.
Crossing on our fingers and we'll be fine.
So far so good. So
what about you? What's your obsession, girl?
So I've been like this week I've noticed like a huge difference in my hard work with like working out and eating right and everything, and so I can fit into my favorite jeans again, which is like really exciting. Yay. And they are pretty tiny. Like I wore them through like I think I had them in college, and then I loved them and they were so much fun. And then I remember when I remember the first time I couldn't fit into them, and I was like, oh, what's going on? And it was because I was just in a really bad place, and just, I mean, it's a thing like that happens a lot. Like when you are dating somebody new and they eat all the time, you eat all the time. So yeah. So I was just like, but anyway, I'm back to like, normal and
feeling
happy.
Yourself and all that. That's so good. It's nice when you see the hard work pay off. And I feel like with getting fit, that's how it goes. Like you'll be working for a while and it's just kind of like, okay, I'm just here. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I see results. Like it's nice.
Yeah. And I've been like super focused this week on it. And I've just noticed like a huge difference in just like being super focused. And it's in the little things. It's like, you really don't need to get Sour Patch Kids at 7-Eleven,
It's
like you
true.
really
Words
don't need those. Like you really should, it's like maybe like, you can have a pack, maybe like if it's your birthday, yay, that's great. But like, that's it. You don't need to get them like, and that's the thing I'm also learning about, is not being like a slave to my feelings. Like, and that's something that is hard when it's like, oh, I feel so tired. I just want, for me, and for some people, it's like, I just want to drink. It's like, oh, I just want some candy. Like that's how it is for me. You know?
No, I feel you on that. Like the day that I kind of realized I was trying to be healthy and I was like, oh, I had such a hard day. Like, I'm just going to go get some French fries because I deserved it because I had a hard day. And then I was like, wait a second, if I've had a hard day, shouldn't I give myself like something really, really healthy to make up for this hard day that I've had? Why do I think opposite?
I know, it is interesting. And then today I really felt like this like super overwhelming feeling of like happiness. And I think it's because I'm like eating
Aw.
better and like I'm exercising. And so,
Yeah.
which it's like really, honestly, my dad says, like, he's a lifestyle doctor, and he says he's like, exercising and eating right is like basically taking like an antidepressant pill. So
Oh, it's so true. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so very true. So
Yay.
yay!
It's just that whole thing of like your body is a temple and you're supposed to like honor it. That I 100% think that is about like how we keep our body, like a building, are we going to maintain it and like make sure that it's healthy on the outside and taken care of on the inside? Are we doing that with our bodies?
Exactly. It's big. It makes a huge difference. And so I'm
Nice.
happy. I'm like back down to my dress size again. So I'm getting like, I was in the best shape of my life when I was 26. And so I'm like working on getting back to that. So
That's awesome. Good for you.
yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So
That's a good obsession to have, being healthy and getting your body feeling well. That's so good. Okay, girl, this movie. So first of all, I just want to say I have never read Northanger Abbey, nor have I seen any of the movies of it. So this month is going to be like super fun for me. But and you had not seen this movie. So we had kind of like a fun firsties here.
Yeah.
So let's first talk about how pretty this film is, the aesthetic value of it, how they set it up. So with the costumes, hair, set design, and kind of that vibe, what are your thoughts?
I have like mixed feelings about it. I thought the set was gorgeous. Like I loved Northanger Abbey. I thought that was perfect the way they did that. All of the outside value was beautiful. I loved like the swings on the trees and like having the tea outside and all of that. Some of the costumes confused me a little bit, but a lot of them were really pretty, but some of them kind of like threw me off a little bit. And then like, are we talking about just like, we're not talking about costumes yet though, are we?
Oh yeah, we can totally talk about costumes.
Okay. Yeah. And then some of the hair I was a little thrown off by the hair. So I don't know. I mean, but overall I thought it was really pretty. Like,
it was, yeah. So I feel like, I don't know, like the beginning, the music they had and everything, how they were leading into it, I was like, oh, this is a really different vibe from like most Jane Austen movies. So I was kind of taken aback and just like figuring it out for a second. And then within 5 minutes, I was like, oh, I know what it is. I feel like I'm watching Jane Austen's version of Phantom of the Opera. Like it had heavy Phantom vibes.
Well, it's because Catherine, she's very much like in her imagination. And so that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I can't remember when Phantom came out, but I know it was in the 80s. And I feel like they kind of took that vibe a little bit from it. Cause like the music, they had like electric guitar and like saxophone and stuff like that, where it was a little surprising to me, but I actually liked it. I enjoyed how they pulled it all together. But it was very, very eerie, phantom-y vibes, which falls into the whole gothic romance category,
Yeah, it does. It was fun.
I did like the hair, how it had like heavy 80s vibes. Like they did it, you know what I mean? Like they had the Jane Austen hair, but it was like these little tiny ringlets or kind of like wild, like especially Catherine Morland's hair was very much trendy for the 80s. It was Jane Austen with a hint of the 80s. I just loved it. I actually really liked it.
Yeah. Well, I was confused on how it was down a lot though. And I was like, why is it down?
The hair down. That's like my pet peeve with Regency films because it's not supposed to be down.
Yeah. Like the only time it should be down is when she's in her room alone, like, with her maid. I just didn't understand why it was down. Or if they're like a child, which I mean, she's 17. So would that have been accurate? Or is it?
No, because as soon as you go out into society, your hair was supposed to be out.
Yeah, because isn't it like, is it 15 when they're out in society? Or is it 16? Because Lydia was out when she was 15.
Yeah, it's like 15 to 16 time. Like essentially, I could be wrong about this, but I think that their age that they would go out into society was like as when they were mature. So basically like a year or so after starting their period, because that meant that they
Okay.
were like a woman and if they were to
Mhm.
get married, they could like have children, you know?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
always around that time.
Yeah, for sure. But I loved the beginning, like the dramatics of the beginning, like, because that
Yeah.
is so, like, you need that with this story because Catherine is just so over dramatic because she's 17. Like, are we not
Yeah.
all over dramatic at 17? I'm still over dramatic and I'm 30. So,
Same here. Um, yay for overly dramatic girls. I think it's great. I mean, because really without overly dramatic girls, like the cool, even-tempered girls wouldn't be recognized. So you're welcome.
and then without the cool girls, we wouldn't be grounded at all. We would just be like, ah!
Oh yeah. Could you imagine like the two of us just getting more worked up over things? Oh my God. Oh my gosh. It's worse than I expected.
Oh
That'd
my
be
gosh.
hilarious.
I do have a question about Catherine's hair, like that beaver tail.
Is that what they're called?
It looked like a beaver tail.
Okay, I have to tell you something. So, you know how last year I was dating a guy from Canada and they just have like a lot of things about beavers up in Canada. Like all the time I was like, do you guys really? Like at one point I was like, so do you guys not have like the slang for beaver tail that is down in the States? Like, you
Wait,
know,
what? A slang?
yeah, do you not know? Like,
No.
you know, like you're okay. Wow.
Is it dirty? What is it?
It's just a girl's hoo-ha.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Like a beaver. Yeah. That's why you said it beaver tail. And I was like, is that what they called it? Like, why do we keep naming crap about this? Because in Canada, they would have those everywhere. And there's a dessert there that everyone knows and loves. It's called a beaver tail. And it's essentially just like fried bread. But they were like, oh, you have to have one. And I was like, I feel weird about that. Like,
It. But that doesn't even make any sense.
well, it does when you know the history of it, which
Oh. Oh my God,
oh, it's so funny. Should I just say and we can edit it out, or should we totally stop talking about this?
what? I don't know. Yeah, if it's like, I mean, I don't know. I'm the one editing this week, so I don't know.
I'll let you use your discretion. Okay, so back in the day in North America, when they had like settlers come over from Europe and all of these different places, so there was like a lot of trappers and hunters and things like that, and they would get different animal pelts and sell them. Well, in every settlement, there's always a brothel, right? Like that's what makes the world go round. That's always needed. So in areas where there were working women in a brothel, if they got like an infection down there or any like thing, they would shave so that they could get rid of the infection or like whatever they caught. And so that was kind of like a sign, like if a woman was shaved, she was like getting over something. Well,
Oh,
then when guys would come to visit them, they didn't like it when the girls were shaved. That was like weird. So they started putting animal pelts down there as like a thing of kind of being like, oh, you don't like us to be shaved, but I am, so I could say clean, so I'm putting this down here. But then it changed and it became like this super kinky, like dirty thing, because they're like, oh, if she has like an animal pelt down there, it's like she's like a dirty girl, you know what I mean? So it became like this fetishy thing for a little while. And then that's where the slang came of beaver.
I seriously had no idea.
I know the things you don't know.
I had no idea.
It's fun.
I had no idea. But I seriously, literally her hair looks like a beaver tail in the back.
Do you
Like
just mean
she
like
had
the
this
plait
like
that she
weird
had down, like ring?
flat. It was like in a net, and it was like this weird flat thing. And it
Okay,
was like literally like looked like a beaver tail.
I get what you're saying now too. Yeah, I didn't love that one.
Yeah, is that I don't know. It's I need to get like someone that's an expert on here because
I know
I don't know.
we really should, because especially how much we talk about hair being like that's not right, and then we're like, actually, I don't know. That could be how they do it. You should do
Oh,
some.
right, like exactly. Anyway, oh, that's interesting. So, do you think yes ever?
Oh wait, 1 second, you're frozen. Can you hear me? Can I hear you?
Yeah,
Okay, what was the
I
last
can
thing?
hear you fine.
Didn't hear you.
No, it's fine. I said, do you have anything else to say about the aesthetic value or like anything?
Oh, I just I'll second what you said. I thought that the sets were really beautiful, and I loved how they did the Abbey. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
super cute, and just like how they would always show Catherine like in the trees or something like that, like with like, I don't know, it was so whimsical and cute. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I love Catherine. She's so cute.
She was. I liked it. Okay, enough about that. Okay, so with this movie, let's talk about some insights that we take away from it. So obviously, like every movie we're watching, it's based off of a book, but then the writers and the directors are going to have their own vibe and take on it. So with this one, I'm curious to know, what do you think that they were kind of like, what was the focus for the writers and the directors on this one? What did you feel from watching it was like the takeaway for the movie?
I think the takeaway for the movie, which I think is the takeaway from the story, like at least what I took away from it, is to, um, although like fantasy and stuff can be so fun and everything, it's important to also like get your facts and like straight and not like think assume something about somebody without actually knowing all of the facts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is that
Oh yeah. I think that's
yeah?
a very I mean, I think that's pretty applicable to this story. There were a lot of people making assumptions that were.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Mhm. Um,
Um,
I feel like I almost took like a different, like a separate one from you, because I feel like um the point they were making is kind of like to have a fanciful imagination or things like that is okay. Like there's a way that you can balance those two things, but don't lose that completely. Maybe just ground it more in reality. But they played up that so much and showed the imagination side of it. And they took such great detail to really make that beautiful. So I think for me, I kind of saw like the allure of getting totally lost in that and them showing like it's okay to have that, but don't ground yourself in that,
yeah.
be in
Well, and
reality,
even
but just
not
make it
even,
better.
but not even just Catherine having that lesson. I think also Henry's dad had that lesson too of like he assumed that Catherine was a whatever you call it, like a rich
Hmm.
lady,
An
and that she
heiress,
wasn't
yeah.
an heiress,
Hmm.
and that she wasn't. And so it's like know your facts before you just like make assumptions, and then
Yeah. And even her brother, like her in the letter, her brother was like, I thought that the girl I was engaged to was actually dedicated to me, but I kept seeing how she wasn't, and it took him a while before he was like, okay, we can't be together.
yeah. And what was the reasoning behind 2 years? Was it a money thing? I can't remember. Like he
Yeah, I
had to
think
like
it would have taken
that.
2 years for his inheritance to be available or for them to give him like a living or something like that. So
That's a lot. That's a long time.
I know that would be
Especially,
hard.
yeah. Like I guess like if you for modern day though, like if that, which I can't imagine, I don't know. Well, I guess it would have to be a different situation. But I guess for modern day, like I think that that would have been if I had to wait for 2 years, but for like a legit reason, and I had
Hmm.
literally just like met the person, then I'd be like, oh, that's fine because like because her and William like just got acquainted, right? Like it wasn't like a
Oh yeah.
long, like they weren't talking for like a long time. It was like, oh, we really like each other, let's do this.
Yeah.
But then they have to, but with Regency, it's a lot quicker than modern time. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but
yeah, I guess the equivalent could be like if somebody's finishing school, or if they're like, oh, we're saving up so that we could get a place together, you know, things like that. But also in modern time, people are typically date way more intimately and casually than they did back in the day.
Yeah, that's true.
So probably
like
won't be that hard.
Yeah, like and a lot of them live together and stuff, which I like. That's great for them and that's fine, but I could never do that. But that's just me personally, like before marriage. But I just couldn't do that. It's like, if I'm gonna like live with you, like we need to sign some paperwork. Like I'm not gonna like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Yeah.
One time at work, we had like a meeting, and in the meeting at work, we started just like chit-chatting with people, and somebody was talking about like, oh, she was engaged, like, yeah, I think we're gonna get married next year. Everyone's like, oh, that's good. And like one guy said, oh yeah, my, best advice I could give to any couple that's going to get married is like live together before you get married so you can, figure things out. And like three of them were like, oh yeah, for sure, I always tell people that. And I was kind of like, okay, that's like the opposite advice I would give, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have their reason. Yeah. Then because they were all kind of agreeing, one of them was like, yeah, I mean, like your chances of divorce go way down if you live together. And I was like,
that's not true.
I know it's not, but I always hear people talk about it as if it is. And I was like, actually, that's not true. The statistics show that if you live together before marriage, you have a higher chance of getting divorced. And they were like, no. And I was like, yeah, no, it really is. And I like cited something that I had just read. And I was like, really, you have a higher chance. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. And they don't necessarily know if it's linked to because you live together, or if it's just a personality trait of people who are more willing to live together before marriage are also more inclined to get a divorce, but the rates are higher. And they were all like they were all silent because I don't think they'd ever heard anyone say anything in opposition to that. And I was just like, if you want to live together, fine, but don't say that that's going to give you a better chance.
Yeah, no, it's not. And like the thing is it's like, I don't like the mentality of like, yeah, we're going to live together first to like make sure that this will work. It's like, no, like you make it work. You're in a contract.
Yeah. It's a commitment. Well, and I think sometimes living together, when you don't have a commitment, it gives you more of a back way out, and so instead of working on things and being like, oh, this is annoying, let's figure this out because I don't want to get annoyed with you on this thing for the rest of my life. It's kind of like, well, that's annoying. Okay, well, if it doesn't improve, I can always leave, Yeah,
it's kind of,
that's my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, it's my opinion. I know it's my opinion too, but to each their own, it's fine if you don't agree. No big deal. So, yeah.
What else did we learn about Northanger Abbey?
So, I mean, I'm like in love with Mr. Tilney.
Did you like this Mr. Tilney? Did you like how he portrayed him?
Yeah, at first I was a little like, that's Mr. Tilney, really? Like, because the pictures of him kind of threw me off. But then I was like, okay, I like him. Him. Yeah.
I liked him too. I feel the same. So if we're talking about this, let's rate. Let's do a little thing called Hottie Scale and talk about the people in the movie, because it is funny when we have like an older one, because people now, everyone has to be beautiful. Like even the guys, it's like pretty boys, like, that's the trend right now in Hollywood and TV and stuff like that. So obviously looking at something older, it's like, oh, he's not a pretty boy. And that's kind of weird, but that doesn't mean it's bad. So first impressions of Mr. Tilney, you said you weren't super into him.
Yeah, my first impression was that he was like an average Joe. Then he became a hottie body at the end.
Yeah. I agree. The first little scene, I was like, okay.
I was like,
sure. But here's the thing. It's that magical power that guys have where they could be like the physical attractiveness, they could be pretty average, but then their personality boosts them and they become so hot. Like guys have
God, yes.
such an advantage there with that.
I know, they do. They really do. Like, it's true.
If you can banter, if you can be like sly and like fun and all the like a good charismatic person, oh my gosh, you don't have to be hot. And that again is why so many women fall for John Mayer. Because he's not like hot, but I'm sure he has like that thing, you know, he has the thing, whatever, the X factor. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think I liked Mr. Tilney a lot by the end.
I did. Well, I love his quote of, when have a and a good book must be.
Oh no, you froze.
You're frozen. Did you?
You're frozen too. Okay, you said the quote that a good book or whatever.
The quote where he said, whether it be gentleman or lady who does not have the pleasure of a good book must be entirely stupid. And
yes, that. I know. I love that one too. And he's right about that.
Yeah, he is. He is very right. He is good. But and then I loved his quotes. I guess we can just talk about like Mr. Tilney for a little bit because
let's do it.
I just love him so much. It says, but art is as different from reality as water is from air. And if you mistake water from air, you drown.
Oh, he's that's like true. A poet's soul. I think that's one of the things that makes me cute, actually.
And I know. And I would like be obsessed with Mr. Tilney because we could like sing together and like because he was like singing. I was like, oh my God.
Okay, I thought of you at that scene when he's singing with the harp and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, Claudia would be like swooning over him.
I would be like, okay, like what are we gonna do? Like, hello.
I know, right? I think I really adored his like cheerful, positive attitude. You know, that was really endearing.
Yes, I know. That's why I just love Mr. Tilney for that. And yeah, he's just a cutie pie. He's such a flirt.
Well, and how he's very sharp. He's like quick-witted, you know, because when they first run into him at the ball, and what's her bucket, the lady that she was there with is like says something about her gown and the price of the fabric, and he's like, I would have guessed this. Like he's instantly like jumping in with something kind of silly and ridiculous, and my little heart melts for stuff like that. When somebody can kind of be a bit of a ham and like silly, I'm just like, oh, you're down to clown, okay. Like I'm good. I love it.
Yes.
How about
I love that.
Oh, actually, so the Henry Tilney in this, he's played by Peter Firth, which I loved that his last name was Firth because obviously in the Jane Austen Society, we adore a good Firth, you know. But he's cute. I like him. I don't know what else he's in. And then Catherine Morland is played by a Catherine Schlesinger. And I adored her, actually. I thought she was such a good choice for Catherine.
I know. So cute. I thought so too.
Yeah.
So cute. Her eyes, and she was adorable.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go on.
What was our scale for the ladies that we decided to do? What was it?
Oh, we have Smoke Show is the top one.
Smoke Show.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's really pretty on her own, but I like how they casted her because I think that she just kind of looked like a little fairy, you know, like she has these big eyes and like these cute dainty features that I was like, oh, she's like a little fairy girl. And so that just makes so much sense with her imagination and her fancifulness that she just fit in, you know?
Yes.
I love
that. Yeah. Oh, but I have to say, so I hope you don't think I mean me, but it's cast, not casted. Cast. How they cast her.
Oh. No, thanks for telling me. I don't want to walk around like an idiot saying the wrong word.
No, it's okay. It's okay. was just like I only know that just because it's funny, people in the theater community like freak out when people say that, and I'm like, it's not a big deal, but like it's just like,
that's like all of the actors' pet peeves.
Which like I like, it's fine, but like it's not a big deal because like people, it's just, it's not.
No, I get it.
Like I don't know why people get so mad about that. I'm like, you guys like go eat a burger and like get over it. Like it's not.
I mean, that calms most people down from anything.
Yeah, I know.
That's funny.
Just go eat a burger and you'll be fine. Like, yeah. So,
well, no, that's good to know. Thanks for telling me.
But yeah, no, she was perfect for the role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked her
like,
a lot.
So cute. Mm-hmm. Me too. Okay. Now, I thought Isabella was really good too for that role.
She was super cute. I kind of wish that they had played up like her friendships a little bit more, Oh my gosh, can we talk about the scene when they go to the baths?
Oh yeah, I was like really like
was
confused.
That right? I was like, is that how they did it? Like, that's so funny.
Yeah, well, it's funny, and also it's kind of weird because I honestly don't remember that in the book, but I could be wrong because I haven't read it in a long time.
Yeah.
But also, I can't imagine though that they would have had men in the baths with them. I can't imagine that would have been proper, because even in 1912, I know that on Titanic they had, different hours for the gym and the pool for gentlemen and ladies. So I can't imagine that in the 1800s they would have had the gentlemen and ladies in the pool at the same time.
Yeah. No, I think I was most surprised by that as well, because they like walk into, so they're in Bath, England, and they go into like one of the bathhouses, and they're like dressed in like these dresses and bonnets, but then they're standing around in a bath. Like, it's funny.
It kind of like, it kind of creeped me out a little bit. Like,
it's like a secret society meeting or something. But if that's how they really did it.
It reminded me of Handmaid's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. But
yeah, it reminded me of Handmaid's Tale.
I like the idea of them incorporating that, if that's really how it happened. But I did think it was weird that the guys were there, because for sure they would have had a separate, like, there's no way that you could get out of the baths with your like wet sopping clothes clinging to your body and not have it be improper.
Yeah, I just thought that was weird, because if they had separate times in 1912 on Titanic, then why, like, I don't know.
I think that was probably just a creative license they took. I don't know.
Yeah.
Another thing to research. We should hire a researcher for us.
If we need to make a little bit more money before we can hire anybody.
And on that note, just kidding. Okay, so let's talk about, is there something in the movie that you could relate to, like a certain scene or a character, or just a theme throughout the movie where you're like, oh, that's me?
I just relate to Catherine a lot, because there are times where I'm just like going on through life, like, and I just imagine that I'm in this different world. Like, I mean, for example, I sometimes purposely put, if I'm talking on the phone, I purposely put them on speaker and pretend I'm on a reality TV show, and that camera's there.
You and me both.
Or I'll I remember sometimes when I'm at Titanic and I'm dressed in like 1912 garb, I like imagine I'm like an Outlander, like going back in time, and I'm like, like just different stuff like that. I just relate to Catherine so much.
Just her imagination. Yeah, that's so cute. I really did like that too. I find that endearing, because I too like to be in an imaginary world. So
I know. But what about you?
So there was a scene in the movie where Catherine has been invited to go to Northanger Abbey with the Tilney family as kind of a companion for their daughter. And the first night they have dinner, and it's like super awkward because the dad General, is his name General or what is he? Yeah,
Mhm. I
General
think
Tilney.
so.
And then his son Henry, Mr. Tilney, they're kind of like arguing a little bit over dinner, but in that like polite British way, but we're not going to say we're arguing, but we're going to have a lot of tension and stuff. And just that dinner scene, I was like, oh my gosh, because I mean, everyone has had some kind of experience of being in that, like, there's tension. I think there's an argument going on, but I don't know what's happening, but I feel it. And I'm like super sensitive to people's like vibes and stuff like that, which sounds like so hippie or whatever, but it's partly just like the anxious attachment that we talk about where you're like super hyper aware. You'll like see the things because you're kind of always trying to like brace and like figure out what's happening around you. But I'm like really sensitive to that. And that's kind of like a little bit of a dynamic in my family where it's like, if there's tension, we just are not going to really talk about it, but we're still going to feel it, you know? So that scene, I was like, oh my gosh, I hate this scene so much. Get it out,
Oh
get it out. So I was sitting there and I was like, oh, poor Catherine, because she's kind of like, what's happening? You know, and I'm like, that's been me so many times in moments where I like can tell something's happening, but I haven't figured out what's going on yet, or people just haven't talked about it yet. And I'll be sitting there like, what is going on? What is going on right now? And much like her, I'll think of it, the reason, and try and like find the answer to it. And just like an imaginary idea that later you're like, oh, that was so not right. But okay. So I relate to that.
Yeah, I get you. I really do. I really get you. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's
So
hard.
fun.
It's hard.
Mhm.
Very hard.
Okay. So we've talked a little bit about the cast, which I think they did a good job casting this little show, but let's do a game this time, which we haven't done before, and let's just call it 6 Degrees of Austin, because there are so many actors in one Austin film that you will see again in another Austin film, and this is no different. So
Oh.
we have the one that I caught right away is General Tilney. He's played by Robert
Yeah.
Hardy, who not only is Dear Cornelius Fudge in the Harry Potter series, but he's also in my favorite Sense and Sensibility with the 1995 version, and he plays Sir John Middleton. So every time I saw him, I just wanted to be like, S Major.
Major. Me too.
It was so great.
Major.
It's the best line.
So good.
But in this one, he was so grumpy.
I know.
He was so grumpy in this.
Mm-hmm. He was. And that's something else like with Tilney, Mr. Tilney, I found so yummy and like delicious is when at the end when he's like, how about you like, you know, look at your own mistakes, father. Like look at your own like reasons why it takes so much to run this is because you are a gambler.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, look at your own mistakes and like don't put them on this girl that I love that I want to marry.
Yeah.
When it's your like
yeah. I know that was a good scene
really
with the father-son
when,
conflict.
Mm-hmm. I love it when like men can like when a man can like put somebody in their place. I just love it. Like, why do you think we love Mr. Knightley? Like,
yeah, I 100% agree. Where it's like, I don't know, it's just it's a very manly trait in my opinion, and I think for me it kind of goes into like, okay, he could like stand up for me if that was ever needed. He could kind of defend me and well spokenly you know, kind of step in and protect me. Anyway, I like it a lot.
I know, I love it when men can protect you.
Were there any other connections with this one? Yeah.
I want to be connected to Mr. Tilney, but
don't we all?
Connect me with you. I love that name.
I know. I was just about to say that too. It's fun. Like it kind of just sounds happy, you know?
I know. Like I would love to, I think like naming like I always thought was thinking it would be a cute name for a son, but I don't know. Or maybe like a dog.
Yeah. I love the idea. I do want to get a dog eventually, but I want to get one when I have time to be around them and take care of them. But I love the idea of any pet that I get of just naming them after a character in a book or always having a literature reference to it.
Me too.
And the first one that I want to get a little West Highland Terrier because they're just like these little white dogs and they're so cute and happy. And I want to name him Watson after Sherlock Holmes and
Oh,
Dr.
cute.
Watson.
Yes. Yes. That is really cute. The only thing is, like, I don't think I ever would want a boy dog because I just like
I know we talked
the
about
wiener
this
freaks
last
me
time.
out.
Question, does
Yeah.
that still happen if you get them neutered?
I have no idea.
Me neither. If
But
you're a
the
dog
humping
breeder
still
listening
happens.
to us, no, that doesn't happen if you get them neutered.
Really?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I just like girl dogs. I don't know.
Yeah, girl dogs
But
are, I mean, yeah.
all dogs are great, I should say. But I just, I don't know.
You're right though. Like I wouldn't want to sign up for having a pet that's always trying to violate me. That wouldn't.
No, like I know there are boy dogs that I love like and adore, but I just if I were to own one, I would be like, I want a girl.
Yeah.
No, name her Georgiana.
Oh, that's cute.
Call her
Georgie.
Gigi. Georgiana Darcy.
That's so cute. I like that. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Or you can name your first daughter that, whichever one comes first.
I know, right? It'd be cute, Gigi. That'd be cute for a little girl.
Okay, that was the only connection I made out of that. We might be missing some, so let us know if we are, but
we probably are. But yeah.
Probably. Okay, and then the last thing let's talk about. In this movie, who would you want to be?
Okay, Catherine.
Okay. I mean, yes. Is it the Allens that take her to Bath?
Yes.
I would want to be Mrs. Allen. Think about it. She just gets to do whatever she wants.
She does, yeah.
She buys all the dresses. She gets to go and like take her favorite girl from the village and be like, oh, come tour with us and I'll get you in society.
I know.
I'd want to be Mrs. Allen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
I know, right?
That.
How great would that be, that life?
It would be a great life.
Again, being a kept woman, that's my goal and ambition in life. Like, yes, I have goals that I'll accomplish, but that's
yes. I love that. Did you freak out though when she was burning the book? I was like, don't burn it.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate every scene in a movie where they burn a book. I'm like, why would you? Come on. I mean, I get the symbolism of it and it makes sense, but I did not approve.
I know. I didn't like it either. Okay, can we talk about like the kiss was so good.
Oh, that was a really good kiss. Oh my gosh.
And I loved how we should. That was like a 10 out of 10. But I think like I loved how innocent it was because with her eyes were still open and like because obviously it was her first kiss and like how she cried. It was so sweet.
Yeah. No, I agree. There are certain cinema kisses where you're like, okay, fine. And then there's certain ones where you're like, oh my goodness. Like I felt that. Like they just somehow are able to portray it so well.
I know. And I loved that her little brother was like running after and he saw it. It was so cute.
That was kind of cute. It was like a nice innocent element to it a little bit, you know. Like
and I just thought it was adorable that she had her eyes open. I really liked that.
Which is funny to say because the idea of somebody like keeping their eyes open when they kiss is supposed to be like really creepy and weird. But that one was like really, it was like in wonder. She was like, oh my gosh, she's kissing me, you know?
Yeah, because she never had been kissed before. So it's like super sweet.
Okay, can I ask you, how romantic was your first kiss?
Mine was really cute. It was when I was 13. I went to this place called a festival with friends called Jazz in June. I was like my first boyfriend that was like a secret. Sorry, mom, because I wasn't allowed to date until I was 18. But you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And we went in a circle of trees, and it was cute. And my foot popped because that's what I wanted,
Aww.
like Princess Diaries popped, you know, pop.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was fine. And then I went to opera camp and had a crush on another boy and was like, I like this boy, so.
You were at opera camp?
I went to opera camp and I had my first showmance.
Stop it.
I had my first showmance. Was in love with that guy for a year and a half because he, after 3 days we dated. And he said that he asked his friend to break up with me for him because he wasn't feeling anything. Oh. And we hadn't even gone on a date. We just talked on the phone, but like we didn't really say much on the phone because I was like so nervous because I was like, oh my God.
The simplicity of life back then.
Yeah, but he like didn't like ask me questions, and so like there wasn't like, and I didn't know what to do. I was 13 or 14 at the time. I think I was 14 by then. And yeah, I don't know. And it was weird, like, because his best friend, it was bizarre. His best friend, like, literally did everything for him with girls. He would ask girls out for him. He would break up with girls for him. It was so weird.
That is weird.
It was so weird.
What if they're still doing that dynamic?
Well, he is married, so.
Do you think he proposed or did his friend?
I don't know. It's all wacko.
That's wacko, so funny. Whack. That's a cute first kiss story. I like that.
Yeah. What was your first kiss story?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So. Okay. First of all, I was super shy with boys when I was a teenager. I just would get so awkward. Like, even my friends, now that I say this, they're like, you were just as awkward as any one of us. And I'm like, no, you have no idea the anxiety that I had inside of me. Like, I could not talk to guys. I could barely look at guys. Like, I'd be chill. But if there was ever an element of like cute romance, I'd be like, I can't speak. Okay. So I didn't get my first kiss until I was 18, almost. And I was like 2 months away from turning 19. Like, I was much older. But, I was working retail right after I graduated high school, and there was this guy who works there, and his name is Drew. And Drew was kind of a bad boy. He had a lip ring, and he was such a flirt, and it was so fun to flirt with him. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And he like somehow found out that I hadn't kissed anyone, and he was like, it was like that moment where you're talking and somebody realizes something about you, and he had that look like, okay, like he loved it. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was so into him. So one time we were working a shift together and we were just like flirting the whole time. And I was like, I am going to make him kiss me before he leaves. Like, I cannot handle this anymore. And so I knew when he was leaving, and then I was like, oh, I need to take a break. I'll be right back. And I like went out back where I knew he would be getting his stuff to go and leave. And I was all like, oh, hey, how's it going? And he's like, so what are you like doing tonight? And he was just kind of like flirting with me. And then he just like paused and then just went in and kissed me. And it was like the funniest thing because I kind of panicked. Okay, you guys, I am not smooth under pressure. So I panicked for a second and I just went and I like pursed my lips like the exaggerated like child when you go to kiss a kid and you're like, mwah, you know, and you do that. I kind of just like did that a little bit. And he was like, he put his lips, like his mouth right on mine. And he just like sat there. Then he's like, just relax. And I was like, okay. And then he kissed me and it was so
my God. I would have freaked. I would have freaked out with him saying, just relax like that.
I know. And it was the funniest thing. Like, I remember kissing him and just being
and
he
like, had the lip ring.
Mm-hmm. And I just remember like chills all over my body. Like, I was so hyped up in that moment. And then we like kissed for a minute and then he's like, okay, I gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And so he left and I went into the bathroom and I just looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you just got kissed. It was so funny. And I was so relieved that I got a first kiss before I turned 19.
Yeah. Aww.
Anyway.
So
And I haven't stopped kissing since. I love it. I'm obsessed.
God. Me too.
Which is why we loved that kiss at the end so much.
I know. We had beaver tail kissing.
Oh, we're so diverse.
Oh my God, I've died. Oh, that's so
funny.
Funny. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I can't. Oh, I'm dying. Okay. So do we have any more segments left?
No, I think that's it. We did some good work with that.
Yeah, we did. Cool. Okay, so should we go into highs and lows?
Yeah. Let's follow this up.
And now, okay, who's going first? I can't stop laughing because you're like, and now I'm obsessed and I haven't stopped.
I can't stop kissing. I have every once in a while have a conversation with a friend about like when's the appropriate time to kiss when you're like dating somebody or whatever. And they're like, I never kiss somebody on a first date. I always wait to this time or whatever, because it sets the expectation, or it like helps me know if I really like them. And I'm always just like, I should try that. I should try to really get to know somebody before I know if I want to kiss them. I just love kissing. I mean, I've turned guys down. Don't think that I'm just a floozy, but I just love kissing. Okay.
I know, it's okay.
About me.
I love it too. Okay, what was your low this week?
My low was just kind of, there was a lot of stress at work this week, and I just wasn't vibing with it. Usually I can feel stress and be like, okay, that's fine, get back on. The rest of the week is good. But man, I was really just like, I'm done with the stress. I just, not fun. Anyway, that was it. There was no particular reason. It was just kind of stressful and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your low?
My low is I have a lot of things I need to do and I'm like not getting them done. But it'll work out fine.
Yeah.
Like it'll be fine. I just have I have a lot of like little things. I mean, little big things ish. Like I have to figure out my school. I have to figure out who I want in what part in our show, but it's like the show that we're doing at my school is all virtual. So it's different and it's just going to be weird. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to tackle when it's something so
well
new.
Luckily MTI like literally has it all mapped up for us. So we'll see it'll work out. I just have to figure out like casting and who I want in what part, and then I have to figure out when the heck are we going to have rehearsals, and it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like a lot. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah.
Aww.
So
I feel like you're that meme of that little dog sitting in the cafe burning down, where it's like, it's fine. We're fine.
Well, and then I have another show that I'm starting with kids Saturday mornings. We're doing like Alice in Wonderland. It's going to be super cute, but I need to like go read through that script, and I have to figure out, okay, what songs am I going to put in this? And like what I have to figure that out. And then I have to figure out, and then for the little kids, they're going to be the cards and the flowers. And so I have to figure out like, yeah, I just have a lot to do, but like in a short, it'll be fine. I can do it all. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then on top of my other show too, which actually the show, like it's really physical, which is good. I mean, I'm basically getting like a workout in every show because I have to do the silks. And then there's this like whole, like, I have to do this like ball trick thing on like a exercise ball where I'm like bouncing on the ball, and then every time we bounce our legs have to go out, and then I have to do like a back bend on the ball and kick my legs up like to the beat, and then I have to like slide into a plank with my legs there, pike up, go back down, and then raise one leg and smile.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we're wearing masks so you can't see my smile, but like it's just like yeah, so it's
do you have to wear the masks for the show too? Oh, that's hard to like portray a lot through a mask.
I know.
Ugh.
I know. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks monkey balls for sure. But yeah. So anyway, I just have a lot like going on, but I just need to like, it'll all work out and be fine.
Yeah.
I just have to like do it in a short amount of time. So
yeah. It just sounds like that wave where it like all comes at once and it's intense, and then everything will work out and you'll get it. But that facing it is like stressful. So no to stress. Let's get rid of our stress. Okay.
I know. It'll all work out. I'm going to do some stuff tonight and it'll all be good. It'll be good. It always works out. So yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what was your high this week?
My high was that I went back to therapy.
Yay!
I took a year off of therapy and it was really good. It was nice to kind of like take a break and digest all the things that I had been discussing in therapy, and then also to kind of utilize some of the tools and be like, okay, let's see how I can implement this stuff. And it was so good. And then over the last year, it helped me identify some things that's like, okay, this is something I really need to work on and I could use help getting through it. And so I went back to therapy and I went in with like this list of things for her and being like, this is what I want to do. And I love my therapist so much. She's really wonderful, such a good fit for me. And she was just like, okay, so this is what I would suggest doing. And this is how we can do it this way. And these are the homework assignments I'm going to give you. And it was like really nice to come out and just be like, okay, we have a plan. Like I felt so productive and so just peaceful with it. Like it was really nice.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going on Wednesday. I can't wait.
Oh, so good. Therapy is so important, you guys. I love it.
It is very important.
It helps enhance life, you know.
It does. It really does. It's so good. It's so good. So okay, so my high this week is kind of silly, but I'm like upset. I love these slippers my friend got me.
Oh, cute. I love them too.
Sparkly and pink, and I love them, and they're so cute. So yeah, that was my high this week, as these slippers are just really
That's so sweet of your friend to get those for you.
I know. She's the same one that got me that mug. Like, she's so good at Christmas gifts. She like literally goes Christmas shopping all year round because she like is like, oh, this friend would love that. This friend would love that. Let me get that. Like, so sweet.
Her love language for giving must be gifts.
Yeah, she's really good at gifts. Really good.
That's so nice. That is a talent. I love giving gifts to people too. So I relate when you see something and you're like, I'm just going to buy this and give that to them for no reason, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But then I'm always bad at planning. So when there's like an event I have to get a gift for, it's always last minute.
I don't plan. Actually, so my mom, my uncle and I were writing like a musical, and we had a meeting this week on Wednesday. And like, I was like asking him, okay, so like what's going on your end? And he's like, hang on, I have an agenda. Oh, like, oh, because I never have an agenda. So this is great.
I love it when one of my really good friends here, she is like she's so laid back, but she's a planner. Like she will plan things and she will make things happen. And we always joke because we'll make plans and be like, okay, so we're going to go do this thing on this day. And we're going to do this and that and everything. And I always forget about the plans, but she now knows me well enough that she'll be like, okay, so we're still doing this thing on Wednesday. And I'll be like, yes, we are. Yeah. Because I want to go to it, but I just forget. And so I'll always be like, so when are we doing that trip? What are the dates? And she'll like tell me. And then like a week later, I'll be like, can you just text me the dates again? Because I don't remember what dates we are.
I'm the same way. That's exactly why sometimes with us, we like are the same.
Like we had a conversation this week where I was like, maybe we should text those things to each other.
Yeah, so for sure. Oh, and my other high of the week is this, because I didn't show you guys, but look at my, and then for those of you listening and not watching, my headphones can light up and blink.
They're so cute.
I love them. So
I feel like we're in the club with that.
I know.
Oh, hi, Miss Clubs. With all of the social distancing and the shutdowns, I just want to be in a club full of people so I could just have bodies pushed up on me and we can all dance. Like that is all I want. I just want.
You just want to dance. I just want
I
to
just
dance.
want to dance and maybe make out with some cute guys.
I know. I want to dance with somebody. I know, right?
I want to feel the heat with somebody. Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. Well, this was fun.
This was so fun. I feel like this was a beautiful movie to bring us into the Northanger Abbey universe.
I
It's
know.
so great.
I love Northanger Abbey so much. So keep yes, so subscribe to everything, watch all of our things and all the jazz, all the things.
Yeah. Yes. Remember, we have our letters that we do on Wednesday, and then our full episode comes out on Friday. And you can like and subscribe, leave us a review. If you want to support the podcast, you can go to anchor.com and support us there. We would love it and appreciate you forever. And yeah, that's all I got, right? Is that anything else we need?
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, and you can send us voice messages.
I love voice messages.
I do too. Oh my gosh, so fun. Okay, well, we love you guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, bye, you two.
See ya, friends. How do I stop this? Oh, there's at the top. Okay, bye.